name's Callum, I'm a neuroscience PhD student, so I study the brain and how it works. Doing alright so far. I've not worked out all out yet, because turns out the brain is fucking complicated. It's like, you know those metal puzzles you get off your auntie at Christmas time? It's like one of them, except you can't just chuck it in the bin after giving it one go. You've got to do it constantly for 3 years. I'm like, you know, I don't need any more brain teasers, Fanny. Just give me cash. I'm a student, I'm skin. Fanny's my aunt. But actually, the puzzle wasn't the worst Christmas present I got this year. My granny gave me a book, Brain Surgery for Dummies. I thought, that seems quite nice, until I opened it up. Fucking library book. 2 years overdue. Cheers, granny. But to be fair, it's not her fault. Like, a while ago, she actually got diagnosed with Alzheimer's and cancer at the same time. But she took the news pretty well. She said, well, it could be worse, at least I don't have cancer. So, once I've done my PhD, I'll be a doctor of science. But some people get confused, think that means I'll be an actual doctor, like a clinical doctor. It doesn't. But so I was speaking to a farmer once who thought this, and he says, because you know, every time I harvest my cornfields, I get a really bad headache. And I said, oh, well, that's a migraine. He said, no, it's not, it's mine. And why the fuck have you started speaking Italian? But, alongside my PhD, I do public engagement of science and neuroscience. So a bit like the Royal Society lectures this year, if anybody's seen them, they've all been about meeting your brain. And I think it's really good that neuroscience is getting this sort of publicity, because hopefully it'll try and disprove some of the myths about the brain that are quite widely believed in the public. For example, a lot of people believe that these brain training games, if you play them all the time, you know, you'll get smarter. And another well-known theory firmly believed by many women, of course, is that the male brain is located in their other head. So I'm not sure if either of these theories are true, but I don't think they can both be true at the same time, because I'm pretty sure if men's brains were located in their dicks, they'd definitely be a lot cleverer from the amount of brain training. Although saying that, actually, a lot of the most clever people I know are definitely single and wankers. So there could be some truth in there. But the Royal Society lectures that were on TV at Christmas, I was watching them. There was one thing I wasn't sure if I quite agreed with. It was when our presenter, Professor Hood, said, "You are your brain." And you know, it's quite right. Everything you do, everything you say is controlled by your brain. But I thought sometimes one part of a person's brain is doing something that another part of its brain doesn't want them to do. So I thought, you know, if you said to a schizophrenic person, "You are your brain," they might say, "No, he's not. I'm his brain." "No, you're not. You're just a prick that got me to stand up here on stage and tell awful jokes." Well, it can't be that bad, because there's some people chuckling. "Aye, they're only chuckling because your fly's doing me." "Haha, made you look." But, you know, it's the same way, like a person with Tourette syndrome, they might say, "Fuck!" They might say, "I'm just a normal person, it's my brain that's got Tourette's." And in the most sort of extreme case of this, there's a guy in America a few years ago. He was a teacher, a father to 2 kids, a well-respected member of the community, and he suddenly became a paedophile. And it's because there was a tumour growing on the part of his brain that controls social behaviour and impulse control and judgment and things like that. And when the tumour was removed, he was cured. And you know, this sort of thing can happen to all of us. Not become paedophiles, obviously, but like once we have a few alcoholic beverages, we maybe do things that we wouldn't normally do. So is that you, or is that just your brain? And I think that's one of the things that, you know, really makes me interested in neuroscience. It's this bundle of 2 billion neurons in your head that make each one of us individual, make us human, make us all different. Of course, my PhD's got fuck all to do with any of that. For my PhD, it's still quite interesting. What I do is I grow neurons in a petri dish, and then we use these to try and model diseases like Alzheimer's and stroke, and we look at the proteins and how the proteins change in these disorders. So how do I do this interesting piece of science? I hear you all asking. Well, for a start, I have to get a mouse pregnant. Not me personally, of course. I've got undergraduates to do that. No, so we just make male and female mice. We're not that perverse. And what we do is put them together in a little love nest overnight. When we come back in the morning to see if the girl's pregnant, can't just send her off to the toilet to her friends to pee on a stick. What we've got to do is do what's called a plug check. So for any of you that don't know, I don't know why you wouldn't, but once a male mouse has sort of shot his load, he shoots another bit of load at the end that's a bit thicker. It's got a sort of cheesy texture. So we have to probe to see if we can find this plug. I was going to bring a probe to show you, but I didn't. But it's basically just a little mouse dildo, and don't worry, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the mice at all. In fact, some of the sluttier ones absolutely love it. But anyway, so once you've checked for the plug, it's not a foolproof system. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be pregnant. It just means that they've been made with. So there's certain things you can do to try and improve your success of getting girls pregnant. Obviously, some males are just more fertile than others, such as life. I've got 2 males. Pinky, he's brilliant. Like every time he leaves a plug, she's pregnant all the time. But the brain, for some reason, it's like he wants to be doing something else. I don't know what he's up to. But sometimes, the girls are just not in the mood. They've got the usual excuses: fucking headache, too tired. Or sometimes Pinky just thinks you're an absolute munter. I'm not going to do it. But I've started using this new bit of kit to try and get around this problem. It's quite expensive to use. It's like £4 every time. But it's really easy to use. All I have to do, it's called the love calculator, by the way, and all I have to do is text the names of plus any, and then I get a percentage back of how successful. So, I'd love to stand here all night and tell you about how Pinky and the Brain and I plan to take over the world. Cure Alzheimer's disease, that's what we want to do. But I think that's all I've got time for, so thank you very much. Good night.